Next one is data protection. Things like GDPR. So the key risk is when data, personal data, customer data, is misused. We are connected to two topics that you will see in later chapter. For example, big data and data analytics. And let me explain what these mean. Big data is huge, raw, unstructured, if you think about 10 years ago, when you buy something online, you would probably enter your email address, your phone number, in your postal address to that company, and then that was it. That's the only information they ask from you in terms of data collection on their side. Well, now they still ask all of these things, but they also record what you do on the website. Where did you click with your mouse? Which page did you go to? And then what other website did you browse before that, with the use of what's called cookies. So these days, companies record a huge amount of data on everybody, on everything you do, on your behavior online, etc. And that's what we mean here by big data. We have this huge amount of data, but the problem is they record all this data, but it's raw, right? Like raw meat. It's unstructured. So the data as is doesn't make sense. So that's why you need data analytics that cleans the data and find meaning, answers inside that big data. So it's obviously very, very linked to data protection regulation, right? And that's why you have things like GDPR in Europe. If you go to a website when you're online in Europe, as soon as you arrive on the website, you have that pop-up that says accept cookies, accept cookies. That's because of GDPR regulation, data protection regulation. And if you don't accept cookies, they'll say you can't use the site. So there are principles in terms of data protection. The first one is lawfulness, fairness, and transparency. So being lawful, being fair, being transparent, making the data available to if you request it as the user. Purpose, limitation. So here it's interesting because they're basically saying you can't use it for more than you got it for. It has to be explicit. So when you're asking customer data, you have to tell the customer why you're using it, and you only use it for that purpose, not for anything more. Data minimization. So only keep the least amount of data that you need. Do not collect more than you should. That's another kind of concept where you're trying to minimize that collection process to just what you need. Because we're looking at this on the side of the company, not on the side of the user, right? So not excessive. Accuracy. So this is why they always ask you, what's your new postal address? Oh, you moved. Oh, you have a new phone number. Give us the new phone number, right? They're very aggressive sometimes because they're trying to keep accurate information. Storage limitation. So how long will you keep that data in your hard drives, essentially? And you will have, maybe after a few years, maybe 8 years, you have to delete everything. And then integrity in terms of the security of the data. Where is it stored? Is it safe? Is it protected? Which brings us to the next step. We have rights as users. So we have rights. So the first right is the right to be informed. So your customers have the right to be informed when they ask a question. What are you doing with my data? Where is my data? Who do you share my data with? They have the right to access the data. You cannot prevent them to access their data. Rectification, meaning editing, changing. Oh, I want to update my name or my email address. Erasure, which means to delete the data. Restrict